Wireless peripherals have always had a foothold in the PC community, and it's completely understandable why. Their compact, cordless nature makes them the perfect candidate for clean, minimalistic setups, and also for those who want to use their computers sitting from afar either as a HTPC or a PC console hybrid. The functionality of wireless peripherals is unprecedented, but there has always been a few things stopping people from jumping the bandwagon for these devices. There are a few painstaking areas in which wireless peripherals fall flat, and all wireless peripherals have these drawbacks in common, be it a keyboard or a mouse. These issues are battery life, reliability, and of course, input latency. It is for these reasons alone that people avoid using wireless keyboards and mice, especially for gaming, because if you're investing a lot of money into a product which you're buying to improve your gaming experience, you don't want to be looking at products which have a notoriety for stopping that dream from becoming a reality. But what if I told you there was a wireless peripheral that didn't make any compromises on reliability nor input latency? And as for battery, well, that's pretty darn good too. Ladies and gentlemen, feast your eyes upon the Pro RGB 60% mechanical keyboard. Greetings everyone, my name is Dom, and today I'm going to be reviewing an uncompromising keyboard that everyone really needs to know about. I have been rather fond of finding small gems which hold a rather high value for money. This is evident by my £560 Acer X34 competitor and my £320 Samsung Galaxy S7 Edge competitor. I really appreciate companies that know where to make some minor changes in order to outvalue any product above their price range. This keyboard does just that. An issue I've seen commonly plaguing the other companies is their execution when approaching a solution similar to this. This is a mechanical keyboard. It is also a wireless keyboard. This means typing experience needs to be solidly nailed down while not ignoring the rest. In hindsight, it is quite a task to get right. But have Obins, the company behind the Pro RGB, delivered on the expectations held for this keyboard? In all honesty, yes, but it's not without its faults. I will say that this keyboard was not sent out to me for free. My girlfriend got it for me for a Christmas present, so don't go preaching about how I'm biased towards manufacturer. These thoughts and opinions are all my own, but before I go into more detail about the experience, let's delve into the specs of this keyboard. The Pro RGB is a 60% mechanical keyboard. The mechanical switches are Gateron Blues. Some may be annoyed that these aren't Cherry MX, but in all honesty they feel amazing to type on. They make Cherry MX Reds look like mushy peas. I don't have a Cherry MX Blue keyboard on hand to compare, although if you guys do want to see a comparison I can get one in and make a video on that. I have, however, experienced Cherry MX Blues before, and remembering back to the feeling I had on them, these feel much the same, and I don't really feel like I'm sitting here wishing that they were, in fact, Cherry MX. That would have increased the price by a fair margin while adding little benefit. Gateron Blues are clicky to type on, and some even prefer them to Cherry MX Blues. They require 60 grams of force to actuate, and they have a lifespan of around 60 million clicks. They give fantastic tactile feedback, and make long essays and scripts a joy to type up, not a chore. Also, under the keycaps we have RGB LEDs. The exact colour cannot be selected by the colour code, however there are a variety to choose from, either on the keyboard itself or via the Obins app on your phone. These LEDs give a fantastic hue. Their effect is truly stunning, be it at night or in a brightly lit room. Every time you type on this keyboard it's like New Year's Eve all over again. Pretty colours explode underneath your fingertips, which just makes the typing experience that much more enjoyable. The effect given off is greatly amplified due to the white keycaps and plastic plate underneath, letting the colours diffuse across the keyboard evenly and beautifully. You can choose from a multitude of cases, which each supports CIY, or change it yourself, each with different colours. These colours include black, white, yellow, pink and blue. Do take note, if you choose the black casing, I believe you also get the black keycaps instead. Maybe contact the seller and ask for the desired keycap if this bothers you. Speaking of which, this keyboard features 61 white PBT double injection keycaps, with translucent lettering so you can be sure that those symbols and letters won't come off with use. The font for such keycaps is a little obnoxious, and certainly appeals to that gamer aesthetic which I so fucking despise. But that's not a huge deal I suppose. You can always change them out for £20 if you don't like them. The wireless functionality of this keyboard runs off Bluetooth 4.0. Before you get your knickers in a twist, I have used it for gaming and I have used it for touch typing, and I can assure you both experiences show no noticeable nor uncomfortable input latency. The small Bluetooth dongle plugs directly into the front of my PC. I urge you all to do the same, as this will ensure that you get the best signal possible from the keyboard to the PC. Signal range is strong. I can easily use the Bluetooth keyboard sitting on my bed across my room, and I also tried going downstairs. Although the signal does sometimes drop and become a little unreliable, where it would sometimes fail to register some key presses, it did still hold usability for those who may want to use this as a HTPC keyboard, as then it's not too vital to maintain that 100% key registration. If you're using this in a bedroom setup or medium-sized living room setup, you should be absolutely fine and shouldn't run into any signal dropouts or misreads. If you're using this at a desk and perhaps fancy this keyboard for a mobile and compact setup, which are becoming increasingly popular as of late, you will be happy to know that you can run this in wired mode also. That and the full key rollover are just more benefits of this small little gem, which I feel so in love with. For those who want to know the dimensions, it's 288mm in length by 108mm in width and 38mm in height. For those wondering, the keyboard also comes in different switch variants. You can choose Gateron reds and browns along with the blues featured here. How would you guys like to win a free game of your choice? Well, today's your lucky day. Welcome to the Tryte benefit system, my way of giving back to the community for their dedication to my channel. Rules are simple: subscribe, like the video, and comment down below the indicating word in a funny or peculiar sentence. This will get you an entry into the benefit system for one random lucky winner to get chosen. You can get more entries by sharing the video, giving feedback, and sticking with the channel, and regular uploads, because every time you comment the indicating word in separate videos, your name gets added to the list once more until you win. Upon which all of your previous entries are removed and you start from scratch, but you get a free game, so it's cool. Today's indicating word is Inglenook. Comment it down below in a funny sentence to gain your entry. Good luck to the winner, and let's continue with the video. The keyboard came in some rather nice packaging. On the back there are instructions, but alas they're in Chinese. This keyboard needs to be imported from China or the US, but for those who reside in the UK there is free shipping which covers all costs. It is also relatively fast, getting here in only a week. I had a few concerns about damage, but upon inspection there is not a single dent anywhere in the keyboard. Good news. Inside the packaging we get the keyboard itself, and also a small bag of goodies which include a USB to micro USB cable to power and charge the keyboard, the Bluetooth USB dongle, a keycap puller, and a really cool sticker which you can wear to parties so people know you're conscious about good valued materials. This can be useful for many scenarios, such as when the female counterpart makes venereal or erotic gestures due to profound knowledge in being attracted to objects, people, of worthy value for buying, entertaining. Coming away from the keyboard's magic virgin transformation abilities, it also sounds just as sexy as the girls you can pull with this bad boy. Well, probably a bit more. Huh? Ugh. A lot of people seem to love these sounds. What the fuck? A lot of people seem to love these sound tests. So here's one of the keyboard in action. I will mention, however, that the sounds of the clicks are not the same across all keys, but this is to be expected. All lettered and numbered keys have the same sound, spacebar is completely different but still lovely, and the others are all slightly lower pitched depending on their size. Now, this really doesn't bother me, but for a person looking for that consistency across all of their keys, this just won't suit you. Again, these are the Gateron blue mechanical switches in action. As you can see, they play absolutely beautifully. Typing on this is an absolute dream and I really can't fault it. Gaming on these switches takes a little getting used to coming from Cherry MX Reds, but honestly I feel like I might prefer it. They're not loud enough to annoy friends in game, and it gives me complete surety that my key has actuated while gaming. Obviously, due to the MX Red's low actuation force required along with its low actuation distance, they are superior and more responsive, but even so, I still do exactly the same in games whether I'm playing on my K70 RGB or my An Pro. I previously said that these were a dream to type on, and I will stay true to that statement for as long as this keyboard shall serve me, likely longer still. Never before have I had a typing experience truly quite like this one. I can't even begin to conjure the number of times I've just spent playing with the keys, pressing them and enjoying their clicky brilliance. This keyboard sings a clicky harmony of tactile fantasy. It drives you so deep into another world that you forget what you're even typing, and are drawn back to the subject at hand. In case you didn't already guess, I've typed the script on the An Pro, and that peculiar sentence is exactly what I'm talking about. If you're a writer or you do lots of admin work, you're going to fucking love this keyboard. The last time I charged this keyboard was on Christmas Day when I got it. I didn't even charge it for very long, 30 minutes perhaps, and then 20 minutes a little later on when I couldn't be bothered to use it via Bluetooth. Since then, it still hasn't died on me, less than an hour's charge, and still I am yet to have a single dip in keyboard's performance or reliability. The 1000 mAh battery keeps this puppy going for 3 months solid before you even have to put any more juice into it. It does this using a few techniques, mostly to do with the lighting or using it wirelessly. With wireless functionality, you get full access to all the same features as you do with wired, but after a period of inactivity, which I think is 3 minutes, the RGB LEDs will turn off to save battery. I do wish you could adjust the period it takes for the LEDs to turn off, but hey ho. If you're using the reactive or pulse lighting effect, they remain active by default, as the LEDs are off until you press a key. To wake the keyboard back up, press a key and it will turn on the LEDs again, and yes, the key press will still register on the computer. After long periods of inactivity, however, the keyboard will be put into a standby mode where you will have to press a key to wake it up and then press another for actuation to occur. The micro USB port in which you plug your wire into is also lit up by RGB LEDs, so you can plug it in when using it in the dark with ease. And speaking of these, let's get into setting up your keyboard with Bluetooth. Included in the packaging is a Bluetooth USB dongle. Plug it into the USB slot in your PC, I recommend the front. The dongle should flash blue to show its activity and status. Next, on the keyboard press Function and B to put the keyboard into Bluetooth control panel. Turn on the keyboard's Bluetooth function by pressing the plus sign highlighted by the LEDs on the keyboard. If you press Start and type in Bluetooth, then click on Bluetooth settings, it should open a page with a list of devices. One of such devices will be the Pro RGB. Click on it to pair. On screen it will show a code, simply type this in on the keyboard and it will pair your keyboard to the dongle. To exit the Bluetooth mode, just press Escape on your keyboard. To pair a second device, do the same thing but press number 2 beforehand. The next one you'll want to pair is your phone. You can assign up to 4 different devices on the keyboard and you can switch to them quickly and easily by pressing Function B, then the number to which the desired device is assigned to. Now that your phone is paired with the keyboard, download the Obens app. The link is in the description, just open it up with your Android smartphone. For whatever reason, it's not on the Play Store, but yes, it is on the Apple Store for those on iOS. With the app downloaded and installed, and the keyboard paired to your phone, you can now use the phone to customize lighting, macros, typing layouts, and keyboard settings to ensure it has the latest firmware. They are currently working on an update for the app to include dynamic lighting customization, much like that which we see on Corsair's K70 RGB lineup. This update will only make this a much more competitive buy for any user looking for even a basic keyboard, let alone one with all the bells and whistles this has. The app, however, I feel is a bit lacking in terms of what you can do. In comparison to Corsair's RGB software lighting control, this doesn't even come close. There are just a few simple things they could add in firmware to make it a much better experience for customers. Again, the app is still undergoing updates, but even so. If such a feature does get added in, then I'll leave an annotation on screen, but until then, you're restricted to the predetermined lighting combinations and personal customization via the app, which is unfortunately, again, a bit limited. Preset effects that are there are quite nice, however. You can change it using the keyboard alone without the need of partnering a phone, so that's a nice plus. You have multiple different static colours such as red, yellow, green, cyan, blue, purple, pink, orange and white, along with the breathing mode, a nice rainbow effect, a point and fade reactive typing, a point and stick reactive typing, a pulse reactive typing effect, and finally a lovely colour particle effect, which makes for a nice ambience when playing slow-paced games such as The Witcher 3. Again, all of the presets can be accessed using the Function U command to cycle between them. You can also change brightness, speed, and the on-off state of the lights using Function Y, T, and R. So I'm sitting here stating how this keyboard does so many things right, but what about the negatives? Despite this being one of my favourite pieces of tech I've ever had the pleasure of reviewing here on the channel, there are a few gripes I have with the keyboard. The font used on the keycaps is atrocious, and I really wish they opted for a simpler font like that on my K70 RGB. The app is a nice feature, but leaves much to be desired in terms of customization. You're really quite limited in what you can do outside of basic perky lighting. And even the execution on how to customize this in-app is horrendous, with little tiny areas of a keyboard you have to touch with your fingers. You can easily end up changing ones you didn't want to change, and that can be really frustrating. Although the app is in English, a lot of the words just don't really make any sense, and you have to guess what some things do. For example, I'm guessing this staic function is actually supposed to be static, or perhaps when checking for updates, is no app version, means it's the latest version and not there is a new app version. I sure hope so, otherwise I won't have much to complain about. The switches themselves have a fair amount of wobble, although this doesn't really bother me at all. And finally, the stabilizers underneath certain keycaps aren't too great. They don't feel the best, and you'll likely have to be careful when replacing these god-awful keycaps, otherwise you may find yourself in quite the kerfuffle. But that's just about where the problems do in fact stop. Despite these negatives, everything Oben's needed to get right with this keyboard was not only met, but exceeded too in almost all areas. Keycaps, despite the font, are high quality with a textured surface and a nice feel. Spacing in between keys is perfect and makes for a good touch typing experience. I found myself being just as accurate when typing, coming from a K70 RGB. The 60% design makes for a small and compact peripheral, fit for versatility in all fashions of the word. Rubber feet underneath the keyboard do a fantastic job of stopping this from sliding around when typing, although I do wish there were some feet at the top to have a more ergonomic typing experience. The Bluetooth feature on this keyboard means you can also use it for phones and tablets, useful for students who don't want to carry around a laptop with them for their work. It is also useful for gamers when they need to do a quick switch to their phone to reply to a text when gaming, then switch back to the game. A feature I have actually used quite a lot and found it very useful. Even the build quality is done right. This keyboard feels sturdy and premium. The price for this puppy really doesn't reflect on the quality you get. The case is hard, the switch is good, the lighting beautiful, and the execution perfect. There aren't at all any bugs that I've experienced with the keyboard, and that just honestly goes to show how good value for money this keyboard truly is. And that leads me on to my final positive, which makes this keyboard an absolute steal. The Pro RGB only costs £65. A lot of normal, wired mechanical keyboards without any of the lighting or build quality you get with this one cost much more to buy. If you can deal with the loss of a numpad, which almost all can, this is a very competitive entry-level keyboard no matter what you use it for, be it gaming or otherwise. In conclusion, I see no reason not to get this keyboard. I've used this peripheral to complete my second gaming setup, which features a 4K TV and a fuck-off massive HDMI cable, which runs into my PC. I can now play games with a mouse and keyboard, sitting on my bed and playing from afar. I have so many good things to say about this keyboard and not enough negatives. I'm scouring my brain right now to try and think of something I don't like about this keyboard, but besides the aforementioned examples, I just can't. Take my advice, if you're in the market for a wireless keyboard without compromising on input latency, reliability or battery life, this keyboard is for you. If you have a minimalistic setup and are looking for wireless peripherals to complete it, this is for you. If you want a couch gaming experience with a keyboard and mouse, like myself, then this compact, brilliant, smashing little keyboard is perfect for you. But anyway guys, thanks so much for watching this video. If you liked it, then do show your appreciation by tapping the like button. All necessary links will be in the description down below. Don't forget the indicating word, and woo! I love your face, and I will see you guys in the next one. Ta-ra.